Hey, it is time for an update on the orchard and the garden. So first the orchard. The garden hasn't really got started yet, but look behind me. These are my wild plum trees. They're really small, about walnut size, but they were really tasty last year. I made a lot of jams and jellies out of them. So I have two. This is the first one here. And the second one is here. You can see how tall it is. So we're going to have a lot of plums this year. And let me get you over to, we planted some other trees and bushes, and let me get you over there and we will see what's coming up or what is budding and blooming. Now, aren't those pretty blooms? This is the wild plum. And as you can see, we are going to have a lot of plums. Hopefully a bumper crop this year. This is our Golden Delicious. This is the one that belongs to the two youngest grandchildren. And looky here, they are starting to put a bud out, but they don't have any blooms yet. But they are starting to bud a little bit. And then next we have, this is a plum. And as you can see, we've got buds here also. We've almost got flowers. This is my pollinator plum. But as you can see, look here, all the little buds about to emerge here. So we're going to have blooms soon. Let's see. Okay. So we've got a lot of buds here. And this one is the Santa Rosa plum, and look at this one. It's about it. The leaves are already popping, and look, we've got some blooms that are fixing to pop. So that's exciting. This small one here, looky there. We have blooms. This is also a Santa Rosa. So we've got some blooms here. We've got some on the other side, but this is a fairly small one. It's only about 3 feet tall compared to 5 feet tall on the other one. Look at this. This is new. This is the American cranberry bush. American cranberry bush. It's leafed out already. This is exciting because this is a bush and it doesn't have to be underwater for cranberries. So we will see what we get here. I think it's got more leaves. Yeah, it's got more leaves, really pretty leaves. And we have several of these. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5. This is, and it's blooming. This is a cherry bush. So it's already blooming. We might get a few this year, but it's fairly small. So I have several of these also. And in between each one, I have these big pots that I'm going to plant flowers and such in there. So let's go down the row and see if we got any more blooms or buds. So another cherry bush, and then we have another one that's pretty small. I have my little orange thing here so that someone would know not to weed eat it. So it's got a few leaves on it also. 7 of these little cherry bushes. Look at that one's got several little blooms on it. So we may get some cherries this year. If not, we'll give it a good chance at growing. This is the Bartlett Pear. So it's budding out already. It's about ready to bloom. You can see it's a pretty good size. It's probably 20 feet up there. Last year we had a bumper crop of pears. They were great. So it's got a good chance. We'll watch it really close. My pineapple pear, it looks like it's a little bit further behind. We had a little bit of freeze, and right here looks like the buds were frozen. So it's going to be a little bit behind because it's not dead. I scraped it and it's not dead. So it's just the first blooms didn't make it. Pear. And look at all of the buds out on this one. And it's about ready to, look, it's about ready to pop. It's going to be flowering. Everything I see so far is just tons of buds up there. So it's doing great. The kefir pear. It's doing really good. So it withstood the last freeze we had a couple of weeks ago. This is called the red skin peach. So we just planted this a couple of weeks ago. So it looked like it was gonna start budding a little bit. So I don't know if that, yeah, see, it looked like the freeze got that a little bit. But it didn't kill it, so we still got time. Here's our Honeycrisp apple. A new one. So it hasn't had a chance to start budding yet. But won't those apples be good? Honeycrisp are really good apples. This is our Celeste Fig. And I was looking up here. It is starting to bud. So that's good news. We have 2 of these. And we did get a couple of figs last year, so we hope to get a lot more this year. The trees have gotten really big. Look here. We moved these pots over from the house, and I still have collards. I thought the chickens had eaten them all. So there's a little mess of collards right there. I did cover them up with this wire to keep the chickens out, so maybe it kept everything else out too. So they're getting pretty good. I'm gonna have to eat those. Is my blueberries. They've got pretty buds on them, blooming out. And I have, in this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blueberries, or 11 blueberries. And the ones back here are blackberries. In this, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blackberries. So, and I see most of the blueberries are blooming. Varieties. So, this one is the Georgia Giant. There you can see it. Georgia Giant. The one next to it probably is the same. The one on the end is different. And this one is doing really well too. Look at all those pretty buds and blooms. We're going to have some, let's see what this is going to be called, a powder blue. Powder blue. And this one next to it here has a lot of blooms on it. Ooh, we should be getting some good blueberries on that. And then we have a wild onion right there, or garlic. These are our 3 elderberries that we bought last year. They were about 3 feet tall. Now one of them is about 7, 8 foot tall. It's on up there. We did get some elderberries from it last year. So We're expecting, this one will bloom first. And we have just put this platform up. This is where our bees are going to go. We will be learning all about bees. They should arrive in April. So we have a platform so far. This right here is my raspberry. One of my friends dug it up from their yard. And pretty good little raspberry. So next year, maybe we will be able to split it and add another raspberry. These are all my elderberries that I took cuttings from the side of the road. And I have a total of about 25. There's a few more in the pots that I haven't got in the ground, but they go in the ground in the next 2 days before it rains again. But as you can see, my cuttings are doing really well. So, and I dug these trenches so that the water would run into the trench and keep them wet, since they like wet feet. This is my trenches. So I've got a few more to plant, plus probably on that back side there, I'm going to put some sunflowers. That should help the bees also. So everything around the bees should give them lots of flowers until I get my regular flowers up that the bees like. I've got plenty of seeds now and expecting a few more in a couple of days maybe. So, and I did add one more tree, well, several trees, but I added one more fig. There's my elderberries that I need to plant. So they're great. They're doing really great. This is a Fuya persimmon. This is a much larger persimmon than the American persimmons that I have. So we got it planted. There's no buds yet, but looks like they're trying. So we will have two varieties of persimmons. And there's some trees towards the fence over there. There's one right there, one right there. And there's one in the corner and a couple more. These are hickory, I believe. Hickory nut? I'll have to go look at the tag. But anyway, this is what I'm doing. Finishing up planting my elderberry. We had quite a bit freezes, so I was trying to protect them so I didn't lose them and have to start over. So far, 25 was pretty good from last season. That's 25 I didn't have to purchase. That white container over there, that was a water tote. We cut the top and the bottom off, and we built a manger for feeding the animals. And this is the center part that it didn't use, but it's got some holes in the side, so I thought maybe that would be a good compost bin, and I can throw some flowers on there too. So it's pretty good size, and I'm excited about getting it started. We don't have any vegetables growing yet. I do have a gazebo type frame that I'm bringing over to the orchard. So here is that little frame that I'm going to put the plastic over, and I'm going to use it. It's just sitting there by the spring, but I'm going to use it as a little mini greenhouse to get my starts. I don't have any room in the house because we've got something else going on there. And I have one more tree to show you that is about to bloom, and it is one of my favorites also, besides that camellia right there. And it's been blooming all week, and it's probably got a couple of more weeks. This is my dogwood. And it's about to bloom. So can you guess what color? Is it pink or is it white? We'll see in about a week, I think. But it is about ready to start putting some pretty flowers on. It opened up a little bit, but it got cold. So you can see that it's kind of burnt around the edges of those flowers. They didn't really have time to mature. So that's the last of our tour. Next week, it should be more blooms. There's some pretty phlox. Is my soapwort. It has really pretty flowers when it blooms. It is a ground cover, but I have it in a pot. I brought it all the way from Oklahoma. It belonged to my sister Wanda, whom we lost to the complications, I guess, of West Nile virus a few years ago. But this is soapwort. Now this is our free mulch. We ended up with 3 full loads from the road trimming department. They brought us 3 and we were so excited to get them. We waited over 2 years for them. This gazebo, I had my loofahs on it last year, and they will probably find a fence for them we'll probably find a fence for them this year. So I can get to them a little better. But I have some 6 mil plastic, and I'm going to make me a little mini greenhouse to put my starts in. We still have at least 1 cold snap before Easter, always in Georgia. We always do. So I don't want to lose what I already have started. So I will be constructing that little mini greenhouse. We don't have word yet on the high tunnel that we have applied for through the USDA grant. We should know about that in a few weeks, so we will keep you updated on that. But I hope you've enjoyed our little tour. I know it's not a lot, but it's a start, and you have to start somewhere. So if y'all like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. It's free. It really helps my channel. Watch the videos all the way through if you can. Share, and we will see you on the next one. Bye now.